Welcome to r/surviving infidelity. Here's today's story. 27-year-old female says, 30-year-old husband cheated on me with my own sister. 21-year-old female. Upset, confused, angry. Forgive me if it's confusing in places. I'm still shaking and confused by the whole situation. So, me and my partner have been together for 6 years, live together and have a 5-week-old daughter. Me and my sister had a very close relationship, since my parents haven't always been the best or supportive figures in our lives, so we clung together, and I would even consider myself the mother and father figure in her life. Mine and my partner's relationship has been fairly strained, since my daughter has been born. He would stay late at work, be dismissive when I would want to communicate our feelings, and huff and puff when I would tend to our daughter. I had a fairly rough pregnancy and quite a traumatic birth, so my libido and overall body confidence is scarce. I don't feel like being intimate most days, and my partner would give me the silent treatment, but I never worried about him being unfaithful. I was feeding my daughter on the sofa tonight with my husband sitting next to me. We were both watching TV, and his phone kept vibrating, but I had a feeling something wasn't right with the amount of notifications, and how quickly he would answer. He got up to go to the bathroom, and he didn't take his phone with him this time. I grabbed it, put the passcode in, and had a look who the messages were coming from. It was my sister. Before I looked at the messages, my heart dropped, and my heart was in my mouth. When I started looking at the messages, there were nudes, sexting, and conversation on how I'm not putting out like I used to, which was a knife in my chest. They had met about 4 times, in which I realized were the times where I was taking myself to the doctor for scans and checkups and going shopping for my grandparents. I'm beyond distraught. I have no idea what to do, where to go, and how to go about confronting them. I feel like my whole world has come crashing down. I have lost my husband and my sister. Here's the first comment. Send yourself copies of those messages and any replies that he may have sent, and get yourself a lawyer or woman's aid advocate before you let him know what you found out. Things you said about him before you wrote about the texts that you saw led me to believe that he was a jerk. You don't need to put up with a jerk like that in your life. You deserve better. Here's the next comment. I second this. This is a double betrayal here. How could they both do this to you at a vulnerable time is despicable. Also, please find a therapist to help you here. Note, you did nothing wrong here, they both did. Prepare yourself to boot him out and go no contact with both of them. You have other friends and your child to think about here. Those two are both off their rockers, and only if they both accept their responsibility in all this and get some serious mental help will their lives be maybe redeemable. But prepare that they will not and project all blame on you. Please try to take care of yourself here by eating, drinking water, and resting as much as you can with a newborn and this information. Here's the next comment. I'm so sorry you are going through this. Welcome to the crappiest club to ever be a member of, as I have said often, and you kind of led to it when you called your marriage strained. So often we betrayed spouses take life's changes in stride, and over time, let them become the new normal, like the frog on the pot whose temperature rises slowly. Our wayward spouses find their outlet in starting new relationships elsewhere. Generally, this starts with removing all communication from you and outletting it somewhere else. Work friends, old friends, new friends, etc. Eventually, this turns into a relationship and their life is on the uptick. They have a new relationship feels, and they have moved on from you. Then in some way the truth comes out, and this all crashes down. On one hand, I'm jealous that you found out ahead of time. I got there. Your wife has been banging my husband text to find out about D-Day number 1. On the other hand, the fact that you are dealing with both your husband and your sister betraying you is a new low that I didn't have to experience. Here's what I can tell you to not do. Do not okay the pick me dance and try to fight for your husband back from your sister. It only leaves you worse, and when you lower yourself to that level, you will only feel worse in retrospect. You are a great wife, a great mother, and your husband is just a douchebag. That's the real story, not that you did something to deserve this. Do not try to take the leading role in anything you do, if reconciliation is what you choose. He screwed up, not you. You will find that, if you take the lead, he will regret getting caught, but never feel remorseful for what he did to you. Prioritize your time with your daughter. Get on the record his aloofness, and then use that in court, when you fight for full custody. Here's the next comment. Your husband and sister are absolute trash. Please consult a therapist, as soon as possible, and bring your daughter out of this mess. It is by no means your fault, and you should not blame yourself for this. You are a beautiful being, and your body produced a child. That is the most beautiful and coolest thing ever. Be proud of what you have created. I hope you find the help you need during this crappy time. The people in this subreddit are always here for you. Here's the next comment. First, sorry you're here. Your husband sounds awful. How can he expect sex? You're 5 weeks postpartum. You're not supposed to have any sort of penetrating intimacy for at least 6 to 8 weeks. I want to make sure you know that this isn't your fault in any way. This was an evil series of choices made by people you trusted. People who were supposed to be looking out for your mental, emotional, and physical well-being. I honestly don't see how divorce isn't the choice here, and I'm usually pro-reconciliation if the wandering spouse is remorseful. But these two people, I don't think they can be a healthy part in you or your child's life after this. Please consider contacting a divorce lawyer. Find out what divorce would cost. Get an idea of what asset division, custody, child support, or alimony may look like. Contact a therapist if you have the means. You've experienced an emotional trauma. Let them help you get back to your feet. I'd especially encourage this, given the absolute mind freak of who the affair partner is. Make sure you're taking care of yourself and your baby. Eat as best you can, stay hydrated, and sleep when you can. I know that's no easy task with a newborn. As messed up as this is, you're going to be okay. You didn't deserve this. We are here for you. Here's the next comment. My ex cheated on me with my best friend. The most painful part was losing my friend. I loved him like a brother. The feeling of betrayal is beyond words. It was almost a year ago, and I still lose sleep over it. I tried hard to forgive him, but through that nightmare of a process I learned what narcissism really is. Everything was twisted back at me to try and make me submit to him, and apologize to him and to her. He was even powerful and manipulative enough to turn our friends against me. What a nightmare. As someone said in the comments before, be ready for them to twist words and blame you, and deflect everything back at you. Remember that you did not do anything to deserve this. Remind yourself of that anytime they try to manipulate the story to make you feel guilty, because I have a feeling they will. Also, a few years back, I started dating a girl. Things were going great for a few months. Then she revealed to me that she did to her ex something similar. She had slept with his brother. I was disgusted and had to hold myself back from losing it on her. I tried to forgive her for what she did to him. Those two brothers no longer talk last I knew. Funny enough, while I tried asking her about it in my attempt to understand her, because we're all human, we all mess up. Right. Man, was I naive. She started to twist things back at me and make me out to be this horrible guy who mistreated her, blah blah blah. I won't say that every person is the same, but if you dare try to venture down the road of forgiveness, don't be surprised if things become even more twisted and sick than they already are. You have the benefit of having found this sub early on as it happened. Please be strong and do not lose sight of yourself or your value. Do not let them manipulate you, and my advice would be to cut them both out of your life. And let your family know exactly why you won't be around if your sister is around. Spare no grim details. What they did to you is sickening, and they should be cut no slack. It's not about revenge. It's about living your best life. And you can't live your best life with such vile people in it. I wish you all the best and would love to see how this unfolds in years to come. Here's the next comment. I'm sorry you're going through this. Please get a lawyer as soon as possible. Make copies of the messages if you can. Surround yourself with friends whom deserve your trust. Then confront them, and at the very least cut your sister out of your life. Remember that this is not on you. It's on both of them for making the conscious decision to hurt you. They decided to be incredibly selfish. I also recommend that you find a therapist and also surround yourself with friends whom deserve your trust. Also, tell the entire circle of friends what happened. You're under absolutely no obligation to protect their secrets or give them the opportunity to control the narrative. Here's the next comment. I want to say something that I think you need to hear. You have given him a gift. You gave him a child. He should care for you and give you his full attention. It's perfectly normal to have a lower libido. It's something he should accept, but also help you heal. Tell you you're beautiful. The fact he does this tells a lot about the man. Now your sister, how in God's name could she do this to you? Honestly, I would take a permanent break from your husband and think long and hard about the relationship with your sister. Good luck, and remember, none of this is your fault. Here's the next comment. Her sister was 15 when original poster, then 21, got together with her husband, who was then 24. Does anybody feel yucky about this? Was there grooming? Here's the next comment. First thing, copy all the pics and messages between your husband and your sister. Talk to your husband first, then talk to your sister, and do it all in one day. Don't let them have a chance to talk back and forth to one another and concoct some story. I don't know if you want to stay with him. This is your choice. It will be difficult. Here's the next comment. Confront him. If a man can't be loyal to his wife when she has just given birth, then he shouldn't be considered as a man. It should be the moment for him to show you how happy and lucky he is with the newborn, but rather he is ducking your sister. Call your sister and ask what you have done to expect this from her. If he says that you are not fulfilling his needs, then say that you were ducking pregnant and he should have kept his Johnson inside his pants, for God's sake, and let him know the garbage of a person he is. Let's see what he has to say. My instinct says that he is about to leave you for your sister, as it's a very common case. Here's the next comment. Get screenshots. Text them to yourself, then delete the messages from the history, so he doesn't know you know yet. Unfortunately, your sister is young and foolish. Maybe try talking to her again in 5 to 10 years, if you really feel like it. But for now, she does not deserve to be a part of your or your child's life. That's a deep, highly disgusting betrayal on her part, but also your husband is older than her, and there's a power imbalance there. The majority of the fault lies with him. There could have been grooming involved. Either way, that's predatory behavior. Get a lawyer, send them all the screenshots and evidence you have. File for divorce and full custody. What's your housing situation like? If you can, kick that sister banger out into the street. If it's a house/apartment in his name, ask him to leave, but have a backup plan for when he says no. A hotel, your parents' house, a small studio apartment, anything. Just don't stay in the same environment with him, because he absolutely will try to gaslight you and convince you it's not that big a deal. This is not something that should be glossed over, looked at as a rough patch, etc. If he will bang your blood relative, he will literally bang anyone, and he will never consider you, your feelings, or your relationship and family unit. Feel free to message me if you need to vent/have specific questions. Going through divorce with my cheating baby daddy as well. War is hell. Take him to war and become the devil he deserves. Thanks for watching.